Great day, Royals. I am EmpressLazulii. You are your empire, and welcome to another episode of Astro Insights. We're gonna go over this week and any important or just major transits that you should know about. So starting off on Monday, we began the new month of July with the 1st being Monday, and we actually had a conjunction with the moon and Mars both being in Taurus. So we started off this week with an emotional alignment with our actions, really being able to align the why with the what we're feeling, what actions we're taking, and why we're actually taking them as it relates to emotions that we feel about ourselves and our consistency, our value system, our level of commitment. So Monday was a really great opportunity to open up this week, but not only this week, but this month on a foot of, you know what, I'm gonna take these actions because they actually align with what I believe in. They align with principles that I see myself aligning with and following for me to enhance my life and experience more luxury, experience more abundance. As you know, Taurus is an earth sign, and Taurus has the ruling planet of Venus. That energy supports it. So really wanting to align with pleasure and abundance in your life, specifically with Taurus being an earth sign in this realm, right? On planet Earth, experiencing luxury and abundance, but making the connection with what actions you're taking right now with that emotion of love, or I'm doing this because I feel like I will love my life more or be able to appreciate and feel more pleasure from my life if I'm aligning these feelings with these specific actions. So Monday was a really great opportunity to align those two and help to really reinforce the actions that you're taking and even re-inspire you as well. So let's get into Tuesday. Tuesday, we had two transits that are really going to shift the collective energy. The first transit that I'll mention is Mercury entered Leo. So Mercury is the planet of all types of communication, right? And learning, speaking, and it entered the energy of Leo. Leo is a fire sign. It's very much about confidence, your self-expression, and being unapologetic about who you really are and how you show up for the world, how you share your energy with the world. And so Mercury entering Leo is really marking a time where we're going to be a lot more confident in how we come across to others and how we speak about ourselves. The confidence that we have to show up in a room and share what we know, what we can bring to the table, and doing it in a very, sometimes it can get to an egoic place with Leo, I'll be honest, because Leo does represent ego, because it is ruled by the sun. But we do have, with Mercury entering Leo, this really powerful opportunity for you to show up and claim your space, being able to show up and speak up for yourself in a really powerful way. And by doing so, the opportunity to really manifest beautiful opportunities for yourself, more happy, positive experiences for yourself also shows up, because you're speaking from your solar plexus. You're speaking from a place of strength. You're speaking from a place where you're meant to shine, where people are definitely going to see you. So if you were previously someone that may be more timid, someone that wouldn't typically speak up or be so vocal or so present, or put yourself in positions to be so seen, especially when it comes to your communication, particularly when you're coming online, so your social media presence, things like this, you are now feeling more energy and feeling more supported by Mercury and Leo to get out there and share your thoughts. Come on social media and post videos and make content and share your feelings and thoughts about certain shows that you're watching or certain topics that you think other people may be interested in hearing about. And even though yes, social media is tied to sharing with the community. With the Leo energy that Mercury is in, it's very much about sharing what you feel is important, right? It's not so much attached to what you think people will like. It's more so like, what do I want to share? What do I feel like sharing? What is something that I'm confident in, that I love, and that I just want to share with someone else, with the collective? And so Mercury entering Leo could help give you that boost of confidence that you've been needing, that energetic boost to set things in the right direction when it comes to actions, particularly aligned with your communication. We also have Neptune that went in retrograde in Pisces, and Neptune is actually a ruler of Pisces. And so with Neptune going retrograde in the energy of Pisces, this is really bringing an ability for us to revisit our dreams, revisit our fantasies, revisit those things that we really fantasize about, those things that subconsciously and unconsciously, those things that lie within us energetically and emotionally, really revisiting those things and saying, is this really a dream that I still have? Some of us have dreams from when we were children, when we were growing up. This is a time to revisit with this retrograde. Is this still a dream of mine that I want to come true? When I was younger, I wanted to be a firefighter. When I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be an interior designer. I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to be a model, right? A movie star. Is that dream still applicable today? Is that something that I still fantasize and dream about? And do I need to perhaps revisit what it will potentially take in terms of me showing up to manifest that dream in the physical realm, with Saturn also being retrograde in Pisces at this time? So Neptune and Saturn are essentially walking together right now, because it's really both of them being retrograde, kind of slowing things down for us to put things in better perspective when it comes to readdressing what our dreams even are with Neptune retrograde in Pisces. But Saturn being in retrograde is like, okay, now that you've been able to revisit what your dreams actually are and get clear on those, now you can understand where you need to restructure your life in order to align with what dreams are actually accurate for what you believe you want to manifest for your life right now. So this is a really great opportunity this week for us to get clear on that, especially for when they station direct. On Wednesday, the 3rd of July, we have an opposition with Mercury in Leo opposing Pluto in Aquarius. So this is really an opportunity for you to make transformations, looking at the resistance that you would typically have between being confident in yourself and sharing that publicly, sharing things that you may not feel as confident with, bringing that to light, making that a focal point of yours, and then even being so bold as to share that with others. That takes courage, that takes transformation, that takes, with the Pluto energy, a real death of a part of you that no longer serves the future you or even the present you. So on Wednesday, what past ideals do you have about yourself in terms of how you would typically communicate that you are willing to not forsake but highlight in order for you to enjoy transformation and also getting closer with community? A lot of us have kind of isolated ourselves, whereas Leo and Aquarius oppose each other naturally as zodiac signs. So this is why Mercury and Pluto are opposing each other, because they're in Leo and Aquarius, right? So Leo is more of a sign where you're wanting to shine. It's ruled by the sun. You want to be seen. You don't mind standing alone. You want people to see that you're confident and that you can, bring a lot of light and energy to situations. Whereas Aquarius is wanting to take that energy and kind of make it more of a collective experience. So taking that energy, but being okay with dispersing it so that we all collectively are experiencing this energy amongst all of us instead of looking at a spectacle, right? And Aquarius is not afraid to be seen, but it's like when I am seen, I'm sharing more of the collective concern. I'm sharing things that more of the collective will benefit from. Whereas Leo is like, I'm gonna share what I feel like sharing, what is self-fulfilling, okay? Whereas Aquarius is like, I'm gonna share what I feel like will help the collective and help everyone and benefit all of us, okay? So what is that for you? What is something you can share with the collective that might mean you transforming from an old way of communicating with yourself or holding communication back that will benefit the collective? You may transform someone's life by sharing an experience that they can relate to, right? But you would never know that until you share it. So what is that for you? And did you get that nudge on the 3rd, on Wednesday, or around that time when that energy hit with that opposition? So on Thursday the 4th, the moon actually enters Cancer, and that's also Independence Day in the US. That is bringing a really stable energy to our emotions, really being able to understand what it takes to build stability, understanding what kind of energy it takes for you to really feel like there is a place for you that you can call home, okay? With the moon entering Cancer, this is a time for you to understand what makes you feel comfortable. What spaces and environments make you feel at home? What emotions do you typically take on that make you feel like most of yourself, right? So a lot of times people will feel most like themselves when they're at peace. People feel like most of themselves when they're energized, when they're happy. People feel more like themselves when they're around certain people, right? To some people, home is not a place, home is people, right? So it's like, my home is not my home is not this house, my home is wherever these people are, right? And what's that phrase? Home is where the heart is. So it's like really getting to understand, where is your heart emotionally? Where does your heart lie? And what makes you feel most comfortable to be you? This could also be a time with Cancer where you're feeling like watching a movie, where you're feeling like eating some really good food that reminds you of home, that just makes you, like I said, feel good in your body. So maybe you do decide on the 4th to give yourself a treat, to go ahead and eat with loved ones, even if you're not specifically celebrating Independence Day. But overall, just a time for you to spend time with loved ones, people that make you feel good emotionally, and make you feel comfortable, right? And then on the 5th, we actually have the new moon in Cancer. So the moon enters Cancer on the 4th, but the new moon is happening specifically on the 5th of July, which is this Friday. And this is a beautiful opportunity for you to open and this is a really beautiful opportunity for you to start a new cycle where you engage in things that make you feel good and stable about the new direction that you're wanting to go in. I spoke about the retrograde that Neptune is having in Pisces. Last week I spoke about the retrograde Saturn is having in Pisces. We spoke about Mercury entering Leo. So there's a lot of heavy hitters right now that are all wanting to push us as a collective towards getting comfortable in our skin so that we can share the information that is most aligned with our gifts, right? So that we can feel confident transforming from being silent to being someone that comes up and shows up for ourselves and for others for the sake of our gifts. That is okay with restructuring things and making official plans and then actually going after them with Mars and Taurus, slow but steady, and being okay with where we're expressing. The funniest thing is that I'm speaking about the new moon in Cancer, and baby woke up from a nap And Cancer is also mother energy, right? It's that motherly energy as well. So really entering a new cycle of nurturing yourself, being able to be a bit more nurturing. So really connecting with water. Cancer is a water sign. So how can you potentially connect with water? How can you get in tune with your intuition? How can you be more nurturing to yourself and love on yourself, right? And be more understanding. Mothers are very understanding, right? Being soft, being in that feminine energy with yourself where you're able to receive intuitive messages and downloads that will really empower you moving forward and help to give you the strength and the courage to continue on this very revealing path. Right now we're revealing, a lot is being revealed to us on a lot of different fronts. And so it's like, even though so much is coming at you in terms of Revelation 1:11, you're still having to keep going. You're still having to keep taking action and making decisions and, you know, being able to surrender and being able to be confident and show up, even though you're in the midst of the transformation and you don't know how it's going to turn out, right? So this new moon is a really, really beautiful and potent energy that all of us need to tap into so that we can benefit for this next cycle that we're stepping into, okay? On Saturday, the 6th, we actually have the moon in Cancer conjunct Venus in Cancer. So as I said, with more of that feminine energy coming, it's really being able to experience that feeling of love and pleasure when it comes to what we want to move towards and really addressing how we feel about it. What are your feelings about having to surrender to yourself? It's not even about surrendering to other people. This is a very personal experience that is being had, and by allowing ourselves to have the personal, emotional, subconscious experience, it is then translating to something that is externally experienced by those around us, being friends or family or just people that get to see us expressing our gifts, right? So Saturday is a beautiful day where we can come to terms with what our emotional experience really feels like. If you need to release by means of crying, then go ahead and do that, because Cancer is a water sign. So things may feel very emotional for you. There may be, with this conjunction, a conversation that you have with a mother figure that you might be having with a feminine energy that could really help you to connect with how you're feeling right now. That could really put things in perspective, and it may make you very emotional, and that is okay. Give yourself permission to emote, right? Releasing emotions, releasing by way of crying specifically, really does allow for us to release pent up emotions and tension that could keep us, or that could be taking up space inside of us energetically, when we need to be making room for this new cycle that we've just stepped into with the new moon in Cancer. So allow yourself to open up to that and really be emotional if you need to be. Allow your emotions to flow while we're in the water sign of Cancer. On Sunday, to end out the week on July 7th, we have another conjunction happening with the moon in Leo and Mercury in Leo. So the moon in Leo is conjunct Mercury in Leo on Sunday. And so this is really ending out the week in terms of how we are going to communicate how we're feeling when it comes to being confident about that. How do we find the confidence to communicate how we're feeling when we've just now figured out what that was? You know, after you just figure out how you're feeling and you've just finished crying, like say Leo is like a spotlight, right? So consider this example. You're backstage, right? You're backstage of a really major show. You have a scene that's coming up and you were backstage and something happened that made you cry. Something happened that really caused you to be emotional. And your scene is literally coming up in 30 seconds and you need to be on stage in front of everyone for this this scene, but you're literally drying tears from your eyes. How are you going to pull it together for the sake of this scene that's coming up? How are you going to allow yourself to not only feel your feels, but then put your feels potentially on Front Street for the greater good in terms of you being confident in who you are and saying, you know what, I did just have a cry backstage, but we're gonna kill this next scene. I'm gonna put all of my emotions into showing up for the collective and being exactly who I am unapologetically. And so this is a really beautiful way to end the week in terms of you really shining your light and communicating to others in terms of how you felt about certain things. Some of you may have been bottling up certain emotions that you weren't sure how to share, that you weren't super confident in. And now with the moon in Leo, you're okay with sharing these feelings because you're like, you know what? And with Mercury and Leo, you're like, I need to speak up on this so that I can let this go. So this is a great time on Sunday for you to speak up and be very upfront about things that you have been bottling up and keeping inside, that you need to let go of so that you can give yourself room, give yourself space in this new cycle that you're starting for new things. Right? It's like having all this clutter. Cancer, the zodiac sign, can be associated with clutter and hoarding, right? So what have you been holding on to emotionally that you potentially need to let go of so that you can make space for new emotions, so that you can make space for more healthy emotions, right? Really, really beautiful week and a really amazing way to end the week in our processing emotionally during this Cancer season, and especially right after the new moon. So really love this week. Definitely leave a comment below to let me know how this week has been for you so far, what processes you have undergone this week that may have helped you. Okay, let me know how the new moon in Cancer has gone for you, and definitely tap in with me over on Instagram at EmpressLazulii. I will be on next week for another Tarot Tuesday, so check out previous ones, and I will see you this week or next week Tuesday. I love you all so much. Enjoy the new moon, and I will see you all soon. Keep building your empire, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, bye.